So with This is Wilderness Skills, every Tuesday, Thursday, Wilderness Skills Guild. This is September 29th is the date. So today we're going to be talking about water. So how to find water when you are in the backcountry. So we're going to talk about how to locate water, water purification, and we're going to learn how to make a solar stick, which is how to collect water in the wilderness. So to stay healthy, you need 64 ounces of water. Do you know how many glasses of water that is? That is about 8 glasses of water. Is 64 ounces. Have you guys seen this type of water bottle before that's in this picture?
My dad has one, but it doesn't look exactly like that, but it is bigger than that.
They're similar. So this water bottle is 32 ounces. So how many of these water bottles would you need to drink to get to 64? Yeah, Poppy.
2.
2. Yes, good job. So you need to drink at least 2 of these types of water bottles every day. So if you're exercising, or if it's hot outside, or if you're sick, then you'll want to drink more water than that, right?
But what if does like other things work, like tea or?
Yeah, that would make
like anything that can get you hydrated.
Yeah, but what about like soda?
Mm-mm.
No, that would dehydrate you more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Liquid. Water is best.
Don't take any baths when you don't have any water. Like, don't take baths because they actually take water out of you.
Oh yeah, that's it. Your.
I have a giant water bottle right here.
Awesome, good job, McLean. Yeah, you guys should always keep water at your desk when you're working or when you're at school. Always keep water by you, and even when you don't feel thirsty, you should take a drink. You guys ever gotten where your mouth is like so dry or like sticky almost? Have you guys ever felt that before?
Every morning I wake up with my mouth
so that's a sign that you're dehydrated. So don't wait to get to that point. You should always be drinking water throughout the day. Don't wait till your mouth is so dry that you're like, oh, I need some water. Make sure that you're drinking water and staying on top of it.
Since we're talking about so much water, I have to go to the bathroom. Really.
You can go to the bathroom. Do you have something to say? No? Okay. So finding safe drinking water. So you should never drink ocean water. Why do you think that you should not drink ocean water? Yeah, Ellery?
My mom told me this. You never want to drink ocean water because there's germs and stuff that might, like, there's germs in water.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's germs, and also what else also might be a reason, McLean? Why would you not want to drink ocean water?
It's salty.
And what happens when you drink salty water?
I'm actually not really sure, but
you get dehydrated.
Yeah, you get dehydrated.
Yeah, so right here on the slide you can see it can dehydrate your body because your body will lose water. It's trying to counteract that salt that you just drank. So you don't want to drink salty ocean water because it won't hydrate you. It'll dehydrate you. Celeste?
I just want to say in salt, it also makes your mouth really, really dry because salty stuff, or like crackers or stuff like that makes your mouth really dry because of all the salt in it, or it wants you to, or it makes you want to drink a lot of water and it gives you a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, so
if the ocean is much bigger than you and you're supposed to find something that's smaller, as big or smaller than you.
Oh yeah, good memory of that. Yeah, when you're collecting water, thank you, Poppy. You should find a body of water to collect that's smaller than you. That's if you're by yourself, right? But if you're with a grown-up, can you collect water from a bigger body of water? Yeah, but if you're by yourself, you should look for a body of water that's smaller than you. You don't want to risk getting hurt. You can drink river and lake water. It's safe to drink if you treat it, but you don't want to drink lake or river water just straight, right? So you wouldn't just take your water bottle and scoop it up and start drinking, would you? Why not?
Because there could be like algae in it or things that wash downstream.
Yeah, so sometimes there's this bacteria in water that can make you have a sickness called Giardia. Giardia is the most common type of illness that people get from treating or from drinking untreated water. And so that Giardia, if you get Giardia, it makes you throw up and it makes you have diarrhea. And that will dehydrate you super fast because you're losing all the liquid from that. Okay, so dehydration. So we talked about like it'll dehydrate you, but what does dehydration mean? You guys know? Celeste, what does dehydration mean?
Dehydration makes your body have less water. Even water can do it. Like salty water, like we were talking about, will make you, even if it has water included in it, if it's like water and salt, the salt takes over and makes you dehydrated, which makes you dehydrated, that you're all dry, and it makes you feel all woozy and um and and you haven't been drinking enough water. I've been dehydrated before. It does not feel good. And my vision got all weird and messed up. And when I was reaching for stuff, I would my hand would just fall down and everything that I left felt so heavy. And whenever I walked, I got a really bad headache.
That sounds really scary when you're dehydrated, right? You sounded like you got all these symptoms, which are right here on the slide. So your stomach wasn't feeling good. You said you were woozy. You were weak maybe because you said you reached for something, and then you were tired or dizzy when you said woozy. Did you have a headache maybe? So you can have all of these symptoms all at once when you're dehydrated, or you might just have a couple of them.
When I was dehydrated, my friend was actually over, but I told my mom that was she was out, so I texted her, and then and I was allowed to go on the iPad, and I was just sitting with her on the iPad, and it actually made me feel better because I was just sitting there in the dark, so it actually made me feel better because I was just sitting there. I wasn't moving around or trying to do anything. I was drinking a lot of water while sitting down just playing on the iPad with my friend.
Yeah, so when you are dehydrated, you want to do exactly what Celeste just said she did. So she started drinking a lot of water and she sat down in a cool place and in a shady place, right? So yeah, go ahead.
When I get dehydrated, I get earaches.
Ooh, yeah, that can be another symptom.
Every single morning I can finish 2 full cups of water.
You drink a whole cup of water every morning?
2.
You drink 2 cups of water? That is a really good habit to get into. I try to do that too when I wake up. I try to just drink a cup of water when I wake up, and that because when we go to sleep, we're not drinking water while we're sleeping, right? So when we wake up, a lot of times we are dehydrated. Do you guys ever wake up with dry mouth?
I wake up in the middle of the night and I always have a cup there by me, and then I drink the whole cup and then I go back to sleep.
Yeah, so it's really good to, right when you wake up, it's a great way to start your day, is to drink a cup of water so that it hydrates your body again. So if you don't, what if you're in the woods and you've run out of water, or you're close to running out of water and you can't find any more water? What should you do? McLean.
If you don't think you can find water, rest in the shade.
Good job. You read that great. Yes. So you don't want to be like running around everywhere, right? Because then you're going to get more dehydrated. So just rest in the shade until you get found, or until somebody else can get you some water. Yes. So rest in the shade. You don't want to expose yourself by just sitting in the straight sun, right?
Or until you can find more water.
Until you can find more water. Yes. Okay. So how to locate water. So the cleanest sources of water are higher up in the mountains. Why do you think that that mountain water up at the top of the mountains would be cleaner than like down in the rivers? Poppy?
Because it falls from the sky. It doesn't like get rushed down the river with algae in it. Snow does not have algae in it.
Yeah, so when it's at the top, it starts there. That's where the water starts. And then as it runs down, it collects dirt and debris, maybe bugs. And then so the more it goes down, the further it gets down into the valley, the dirtier it's going to be. Yeah, McLean?
It could have fell recently. Then the stream water way down, which so like let's say the snow fell recently, then the snow melted and it went through all this dirt and it went down to the rivers.
Yeah, exactly. So it fell more recently from the sky than the water that traveled all the way down the mountain into the valley. Yeah, correct. So if you're not at the top of the mountain getting water, then the next best spot to get it is in springs. And a spring is water that's flowing out from the ground, or snow. But when you drink snow, you should always melt it first. Don't just eat snow when it's frozen.
Oh, why not eat the snow? I always eat snow.
It's not going to hurt you, but you're not going to get hydrated fast. That takes a lot of effort to eat snow. So you want to,
It actually snow. Sometimes it sometimes makes you more dehydrated because you have to shut, and then it's like you put water into the snow that you're eating and it makes you less hydrated.
Yeah,
and it will make you more thirsty.
Into melting the snow, right? Instead of just melting the snow. Like what I do, if I need water from snow, then I'll pack a water bottle full of snow and then I'll put it in a sunny spot until it melts. Or if I'm wearing like a big puffy jacket, then I would put the bottle of snow in my jacket, but not next to my skin, and that heat will warm it up. So why wouldn't I want to put a bottle full of snow next to my skin?
It will cool you down.
Ellery, why would you not want to put a bottle of snow next to your skin?
Because it will make you cold.
Yeah, and it'll steal your body heat, and so you don't want. Then will get colder. Warm. So don't put snow next to your skin. You can put it in your coat, but make sure that you have a layer in between. So the next cleanest spot to get water from is lakes and ponds. So lakes and ponds you want to make sure that you treat it. So we already talked about that. You want to treat the water when you get it from lakes and ponds. You don't want to drink it straight. I'm not just going to dip my water bottle and then drink it straight. Yeah, Ellery?
And never ever never scoop up snow that's yellow.
Yes, never scoop snow that's yellow. That's a good idea and a good reminder. So when you're scooping water from a lake or from a pond, should you collect it from the top or the bottom of the water? McLean? I see some people. Some people.
I think for like the never eat yellow snow. Just don't never eat colored snow.
Never eat yellow snow. To never eat yellow snow because it is.
Or never eat red snow. It could be red from blood.
Or it could be a snow cone.
Only
So like blue is okay because one day I at my preschool school, so it's preschool, which just was like daycare basically. And
we do have to respect her because she's in
then we went outside because it was like, snowing, and we saw this big thing of snow, and we were talking about like the Grinch. We watched the movie Grinch, and we went outside and we looked at the snow, and it was green. So we said that Grinch made it, and then we ate it because the adults said we could. And that was just probably spray painted, like edible spray paint on snow.
but if you're in the middle of the forest, like if your teachers put like food coloring or they put flavored gelatin or whatever, or Kool-Aid on the snow, okay, that's okay to eat. But if you're walking in the middle of the forest and you see some green snow, don't want to eat it, right? Because you don't know what that's from. So when you're collecting water,
But what would make green snow?
I have no idea. Just don't eat colored snow in the wild.
Some kind of berry.
Maybe, yeah, maybe some kind of berry. So when
Or
you're
some kind of dangerous leaf that rubs on stuff to make as a defense.
Dangerous leaf? A leaf?
Yeah. These are like really dangerous if you even touch it to your.
Okay,
or
I'm gonna have to turn things.
really dangerous if you like rub it on your skin, and it will all come off and it will turn green. It's really dangerous.
Wait, did you just say a leaf?
Yeah, a leaf.
A leaf.
Yes, a leaf.
Or like leaf spray. A leaf?
Yes, a leaf.
A leaf. A leaf. A leaf you would get off of a bush can do that. How is a leaf alive?
Okay.
Most leaves aren't alive. They can't move around. Brain is dead.
Okay, thanks for
A leaf.
facts. Yes.
A leaf.
Okay. Moving on. So when you're collecting water from a lake or from a stream, you don't want to just say this is the water. I don't want to just stick my water bottle in and sip it from the top, right? So like if this is the top and I just scoop it like this, bugs are a lot of the time sitting at the top of the water. So I just collected all the bugs, right? So you want to go under the water, top to collect the water. And a good way to do that to not get bugs or algae in there is I like to put my hand over it and then dip it in the lake or whatever to keep the water up, then bring it up out of the water. So once it's down below the surface, and I take my hand off, and then before I bring it back up, I put it back on, and then I have a full water bottle. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, so you want to put it under the surface, not at the surface, because that's where the
Oh, still, why would you scoop water from a lake?
If you
With Dad's filter and filter it.
Yep, you have to filter it. Always filter it. Yep. But if you're on a backpacking
I
trip,
have a water filter. I have a water filter that we always take on hikes just in case we run out of water. And so we can just put it in a lake or something, and then we can put it in our water bottle. It's not that much, but it's still water.
that's cool. Cool. So I have a question for you guys. Which water is safer to drink? Look at these two pictures. So a pond with green algae around the edges and bugs swimming in it, or a clear pond with no bugs, no algae and no bugs.
Clear pond. And are those fish?
Yes, fish.
and frogs and toads.
So, what do you guys think? Is it the clear pond or this
Clear pond.
Clear pond. Do you know
Clear
what it
pond.
means?
clear pond?
You don't want to drink from a pond that has fish,
Life was like,
toads, and algae and
yeah,
bugs.
I wish life was like that. Such easy choices.
If you're
like
fishing,
this
go to
gross
the
one
dirty
or
pond.
this nice one. 2 ponds right next to me. I wish life was like that.
Well,
If
that's
you're fishing, go to the dirty pond.
why I asked the
Because dirty pond has fish in it.
That's why I asked this question, because it's not so simple, Parker. So a lot of the times clear water is safe to drink after you treated it right. But sometimes if there's no bugs and if there's no algae growing in it, sometimes that means that there's chemicals in it. And sometimes that means that it's not safe to drink. And then when you see a lot of times when you see ponds or lakes that have algae or have bugs on them, a lot of the times that means it's safe to drink because stuff is growing in it and there's bugs that are attracted to it or birds that are attracted to it. So at first glance, this one might look better, but you have to really be careful because you want to make sure that it's not chemicals in the water. That makes sense?
We are looking
Smell it first. You should smell it.
Yes,
Gross.
you should smell the water. That's a
Or
good.
else we would have all choose the clean one, and we would end up not surviving.
It was it was a trick question, and that's not always the case. I'm just saying sometimes if there's nothing growing in the pond, that sometimes can mean that there's chemicals in it, and sometimes bugs can be an indicator that that one is actually safe to drink. Celeste.
I just want to say, my grandma told me this, or my step grandma. Oh, sorry. She told me that if you see a berry or water, well, she told me about berry. She says if you see the birds eating it, and then you see what happens after they eat it, then and they're fine, then it means those berries are safe to eat. And it's basically the same with water. If you see, like, one of the easiest things is a deer because they don't have that complicated bodies and they're basically the same as humans. So if you see a deer drinking water, then and nothing happens to it and it's safe, then it's probably safe water.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Celeste. That is a good thing. So you should observe the animals around you to see if they're drinking and how they're reacting to it. And if they are, then be like, okay, I think that's okay.
But never deal with very unusual animals because some animals have like special things that are like especially resistant. Another thing is if you're looking in clear water, you said it might have chemicals in it. That's why there are no bugs in it. Then you should probably look inside to see if there's anything dead. Because if there was bugs stinging it, they couldn't get out of the water and then die, so they would probably die inside it. So you should look if there's anything dead inside it.
Celeste, I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing. You are very smart. You guys are all so smart. You blow me away every Guilds time. I'm amazed.
But there's only one problem. What if some birds are actually specialized to eat like poisonous berries, just like the mongooses specialized to attack cobras?
That's what I was talking about. You should look at, if it's just a small chickadee or something, they're pretty simple, so it's probably fine to eat it. If it just looks like a normal bird or a robin.
Yeah, thank you guys. That's a great question, Poppy. So I'm excited.
I learned about chickadees.
We're going to be talking about food foraging soon. So foraging means collecting plants in the wild and knowing what's safe to eat. So we're going to be going over that in the future, and we're going to be like taking a walk around campus and seeing like if we can find any food that we could eat that would be safe to eat and how to identify stuff.
If we went to this campground once, actually it was this summer, and they had these wild berries, we knew they were safe to eat.
Yeah, cool. That's That's awesome, Poppy.
I think it was Petaluma, and I think they grew blackberries there.
Mm-hmm.
And we went.
Petaluma's where I used to live.
Cool.
And there's a whole bunch there. We went on this hike, and there was a whole bunch of blackberry bushes. So we eat only the black ones, not the red ones. I love blackberries. Blackberries are delicious.
Guys, okay.
And on the same trip, we also ate blackberries.
Wow.
Yeah, blackberries are delicious.
Wild bushes, so they're very good food sources depending on where you
Stop
are.
talking about blackberries.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all sharing
It
ideas.
depends where you are. Where grown blackberries, and you should probably look at a bush and see if it has anything like blackberry. It has spikes, or you could see if the bush is hairy, because usually if it's hairy, it's a berry.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move on. Thank you guys for sharing your knowledge. That you guys have a lot of fun facts about foraging and about water. Okay. So other places you can look for water. So if you don't see like a river or a stream or a lake or snow, other good places to look are a dry riverbed. So where a river normally is, if it's just dry, if you dig down, like you can often find water. It's going to be muddy, but you can always filter it. You can also look at at the bottom of a rocky hill, because a lot of times water will collect in where there's a lot of rocks. So you can look there. You can look in damp areas where green plants are growing together. So there's some plants that will only grow where there's water. In dry areas, cottonwood trees and desert willows. So you can see in this picture, this is what a desert willow looks like, this pretty flower. So that's in the desert, and it only grows where there's water underground. So if you see something like this, then you know, or there's a willow, you know that if you dig deep, then there oftentimes will be water below there. Pretty cool, huh? And then there's other plants that grow in marshy areas. So marshy areas is where like the soil is wet. So cattails, have you guys seen these before? Cattails, they grow in marshy areas or along the
So do horsetails.
So horsetails, cool. So cattails are tall plants with long leaves. They look kind of like hot dogs, right? Willow plants are green shrubs
Like corn dogs.
covered with narrow green leaves. So another good thing to look for is insects. So if you see insects and you can follow insects, then that often can lead you to water. And then birds know where the water is too. So pay attention to where the birds are going, and sometimes you can find where water is. What happens if you see like you're at a lake, or maybe you just see like a puddle of water, but then you see some animal poop around it?
Animal what?
Animal.
Ever drink it.
Animal what?
Animal poop.
Animal poop?
Yeah.
Ever drink it.
You should always purify it, right? That could make you really sick.
That's why I said never, ever drink it.
Especially careful. Try to find some different water, but if you can't, just extra purify it. Okay, so moss. Do you guys know what moss looks like in this picture? Has an X on it, but that's just part of the design. So moss holds a lot of water. So sometimes you can squeeze moss, and it's like a mouthful of water. You can just like squeeze it into your mouth, which is really cool. Just holds on to the water. It might taste a little bit planty, but it's safe to drink. And then rainwater is safe to drink without purifying it. You don't have to purify rainwater. So where could rainwater collect in nature? Where do you think rainwater could collect? Yeah, Ellery?
it can collect in algae and rivers, lakes, ponds,
Yep,
and little puddles.
yep, in little puddles. It can go into big bodies of water. Sometimes it can collect like in a hole of a tree or in a stump. It like acts as a rainwater collection system. So yeah, you can drink rainwater without purifying it. And also you can drink snow without purifying it. You just have to make sure that you melt it, remember, before you drink it. Okay, so ways to purify your water. So there are water purification.
Water purifier looks like.
What'd you say, Celeste?
I said that's exactly what my water purifier looks like.
Oh yeah, cool. I have this one too. So this one has a charcoal filter. So this right here where you see this bag, this blue bag, you fill that up. So you take it like into the river or the lake or wherever you're getting your water from, you fill that up. Then you screw on this filter. And this filter is a charcoal filter. And you push the water through, and the water that you see coming out of the black filter into the cup is now clean.
Is this you, Alex, doing this?
It's not. Kind of looks like it, huh?
No, who's doing that?
Just some lady on the internet is doing it. Or maybe it's a man, I don't know. So there's also water purification tablets. So you can buy these little tablets at the store that you drop it in to the water and it purifies it. There's also battery-powered ultraviolet light that can clear water, that can get the battery.
That's what we have.
You have that, Poppy? Very cool. I've never used one of those. That's cool. I've heard.
I don't know what kind of
There's a
filter.
little tank that you fill up all the way. We've used it before. Once we had to get water at a reservoir. And we filled it up, and then we put it in, and the light squeezed up all the chemicals and diseases and all that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's cool. Thanks for sharing.
And when the light turned off, it was done.
Really cool. Yeah, when we were back on campus, I want to do a demonstration of all the different types of water
I
purification.
don't know what kind of filter my dad has. I had to repeat because Poppy interrupted me.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him. That's a good conversation. You guys can ask your family tonight if you have any water purification system. Ellery?
I have this little, well, it's kind of big, and then we have the sink water, but then we pour that into the big thing, and then it gets all the chemicals out, and then it goes into the water, and then you just pour it.
Very cool. Yeah, there's so many different types of water purification systems. It's cool to see all the different types. That's cool. Yeah, we'll do a demonstration when we're at school of different types of water purification.
Almost.
And then another way that you can purify water is to boil it. So you can boil water for 20 minutes and that takes all the bacteria and bugs out of it and then makes it safe to drink. So you want to make sure that you boil it for at least 20 minutes before you drink it. And then you want to make sure it cools down, right? You don't want to drink hot boiling water. You can drink hot water, but not boiling water. Okay, so we're gonna learn how to make a solar still, and if we have time today, then you guys will go outside and try this on your own, or you guys can try it on your own later today after school. So a water still is you take plants and you turn it into water. So the first type of water still that we're gonna learn about is this one that you see in this picture. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a plastic bag and a piece of string or a twist tie, and you put it around the branch. So you want to make sure that the leaves are green and alive, that they're not brown and dead, because that doesn't hold any water. But when they are green, that means that they have water still in them. So you put the bag around the leaves, and then you tie it tight. And then you let it sit in the sun.
So what this does, it gets like dew and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then if you untie it, there's a bunch of water on the bottom.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's exactly right, Parker. So then you let that sit for about an hour, and then water collects in the bag, and then you can drink it. Isn't that cool? So it's some of the times, depending how many leaves are in the bag, sometimes it'll produce a mouthful so that you can just take one sip, and sometimes it produces like a whole cup. So that would be really fun to try as an experiment if you guys want to do it. We'll also do this on campus to try it out, and we'll do different experiments of like what type of solar still works best. So the second type of solar still that we're going to learn about is you take a plastic like Ziploc bag and you put a rock in it. So you put a rock in one corner, and then you fill the rest of the bag up with grass or fresh leaves. You want to make sure that whatever you're putting in it, it's green, because green means it has water in it. And then you want to scoop air into it so that the bag is puffy, so that the grass isn't smashed or the leaves aren't smashed. You want the bag puffy with air and your green stuff in it. And then you're going to put it in the sun. And then the dew and the condensation from the leaves and the grass is going to collect at the bottom. And that makes water. And then the final solar still that we are going to talk about is, so if you happen to have a piece of clear plastic sheeting in a cup or a can, so you see this plastic sheet right here at the top, and then there's a can at the bottom. So you dig a little pit in the ground where it's a sunny spot. So in a sunny spot, dig a bowl-shaped hole about 1 to 2 feet deep, but not as wide as your plastic sheet, because your plastic sheet is going to be going over the hole. Okay, so then you put your cup in the bottom of the hole, and you put vegetation, so that means leaves or grass, something around it, around the cup, and then you put the plastic sheet. Why? Because that's going to help collect water. So just like how we put leaves in our bag to collect water, we put leaves around the cup to collect water. So you put the plastic sheet over the top and anchor it, put some rocks. See how they have rocks on the edges of the hole? So that holds down the plastic sheet. And then then it's going to collect water. Oh, and you want to set a small rock on the top of the plastic so that it's positioned just over the cup. When the moist substances inside the bowl are heated by the sun, water will be drawn out of them. So it's going to warm this up, and then water is going to collect. And see how like the moisture is going to rise from the leaves, it's going to collect on the tarp or the plastic, and then it's going to drip down into your cup. Pretty cool, huh? Whoops. Okay, so we have just 15 minutes left of guilds. So you guys can take this time and go try your own solar still. So any of the ones that we tried, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. We can do it on campus too. Bye, Parker. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, and thanks for the great conversation. You guys are so smart. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all your facts.
See you next time.
Next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, that's what I said.
Thanks. See you next time.
I like building stuff a lot. I seriously built a fort that I could literally lay in.
That's amazing. I love that, Mina. Good job.
Yep. Now I got these new Simpson shoes. Sorry.
Cool. Oh, those are cool, Mina.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta put you on my computer on the ground because then you can see them better.
Whoa, those are fancy. I love
And the other one is this.
Mhm. Those are cool.
These are, and they're tied. I have a little bit of not a hard time tying them in bows. I'm totally fine at tying bows.
Mhm.
So I laced them up, but I laced them up wrong. Somehow. So it's like when you laced it up, then it seemed like there's one less hole than you needed. But then, if there was one less hole, then the shoes would get messed up. But the reason it actually wasn't working because I laced it up wrong.